Tired of sandwiches that feel more like a sad apology than a real meal? Me too, friends. So today we're making some next level sandwiches that are creative, crave-worthy, and so easy to whip up. From a fresh and hearty California club wrap to the best ham sliders you'll ever taste, and a cheesy bacon turkey melt that'll knock your socks off. And perfect for busy weeknights or lazy weekend lunches. I'm Mel. Welcome home, friends. You can put that bologna back in the fridge. We're gonna make you a new sandwich tonight. Tonight, we're gonna make some chicken bacon ranch sandwiches. First thing I'm gonna do is I have these 2 chicken breasts out here, and I'm going to butterfly these in half so I'll have 2 really nice thin pieces out of each breast. We've established many times here that I like fixins, and fixins to me is what makes a sandwich. But when I came across this recipe, there was a couple of things they did in making the chicken, frying it up, that I had never really heard before. I think it's gonna make a difference. Y'all know what's happening here. I've got a 3-bowl dredging station. In here is 3/4 of a cup of just flour. Mine's self-rising, but you can use all-purpose. Now, the first thing that I found interesting, it said to add to your flour was 1/4 cup of cornstarch. Now, I use cornstarch to like slurries, and I have used it in baking and different things, but I never really thought about putting it in a breading. But this recipe says that this cornstarch is the secret to a crispy coating. So that's going in. The only seasoning it said to put into this mixture is salt. Well, I just can't do that, a teaspoon of salt. I'm gonna put in a teaspoon of my Kinder's Buttery Steakhouse, and this is really, really good. As a matter of fact, I might just throw a little extra in. This has salt, it's got onion, garlic, spices, red bell pepper, parsley. It's got lots and lots of good little flavor in it. And let's just give this a little whisk here to get our cornstarch and our seasoning and our flour all combined. Now into our second bowl, I actually have these liquid egg whites. It says to use 2 egg whites, but I have been buying these. I add them into my scrambled eggs. I use them in making quiches and stuff like that. That's 2. 2 tablespoons equals about 1 egg, large egg white. So let me do 2 more. That's 4 tablespoons of liquid egg whites, or the egg whites from 2 large eggs. But I've been keeping these, so I'm just gonna use them. Then over here in our last little bowl, our good old friend, crispy panko breadcrumbs, about 1.5 cups. We're just gonna finish off that container. Now we're gonna take our chicken breasts, which you really need to make sure these are good and dry, dredge it in this flour. It's also got the seasoning and the cornstarch in it. Kind of shake it off. Now let's come over here to these egg whites and let's flip it onto both sides in here. Then over into the panko. Spoon some over the top. Really push it down in there. Want that crispy coating to stick. Then I've just got a tray back here lined with some parchment paper, and we'll move on and do the rest of our chicken breast. Looks like I ended up with 1 piece, just a little bit smaller than the rest. I guess that's what happens whenever I talk and cut at the same time. Let's get this cleaned up now. It just dawned on me. I did not tell you why we're using the egg whites and not the whole egg. The yolk of the egg is what contains the fat. And by just using the white of the egg, we're going to get a crispier fry on our chicken, and the egg, the yolk that has the fat in it, will tend to make it a little bit more soggy. I never thought about that before. We're going to see if it makes any difference today. I'm heating just enough oil in the bottom of my skillet just to cover the bottom, heating it up to about a medium heat. Then I'm gonna place my chicken down in here, and we're gonna cook this about 3 or 4 minutes on each side. We wanna make sure it gets to an internal temperature of 165 degrees. When you're frying your chicken down in here, you don't wanna move it around a lot or your breading will start to come off. You don't want to even try to turn it until you begin to see like the golden brown coming up from underneath it, up along the sides. Then when it's good and ready to turn, it'll just release from that pan and your coating will still be intact to the other side. Got my last little piece of chicken cooking up here, and I want you to look how beautifully these fried up. They really did get nice and crispy and golden. I just put mine on a plate. If you had a wire cooling rack, like a cookie sheet, cookie cooling rack or something like that, probably keep them even crispier. But let's just go ahead and build a sandwich while this little guy finishes up. This is gonna be a pretty hearty sandwich. So you want a pretty hearty bread. I'm using some of this Pepperidge Farm sourdough. Love this bread. Normally, I'm over here slathering on the Duke's mayonnaise, but we're gonna do something a little bit different tonight. I've got some whipped cream cheese, and I'm just gonna hit both of these pieces of bread with just a nice, kind of light coating of it. You could also use butter if you wanted to. People eat butter inside their bread. This is a new concept to me. I'm just used to putting it on the outside and toasting it up. But some people eat it on the inside. Shocking, I know. I love good old crunchy lettuce on everything. So I'm going to put a fair amount of this romaine lettuce on here. Now, which one do I want? But that one's biggest, longest. Now we're going to take one of our little chicken breast. Put that right on top. Look, that thing covers the whole sandwich. I'm just gonna take a little bit of good old Hidden Valley bottled ranch dressing and put across my chicken. And you can use rotisserie chicken for this. To me, what stuck out and made this sound so good to me was doing these fried chicken cutlets. But you could definitely use a rotisserie chicken if you wanted to. Now I've got some beautiful red onion slices here. Looky here, what I almost forgot. I had some bacon. I'd put it over out of the way so we wouldn't eat it all up. Cooked this up in the oven. I love to bake my bacon like that. Just gonna crisscross me a couple pieces there. I'm out of tomatoes, but I do have some sliced pepper jack cheese. I'm gonna put that right on top. And then top this beautiful sandwich with another piece of bread. This one required the toothpick. I had to put a toothpick through them. They would not stay put. This is a sandwich right here.
Well, it looks good.
I know. I wished I did have a little Granger County tomato. They're not in yet, but aroma or something. But anyhow, let's go.
Is it good as
Make sure this. Yes.
Good as it looks.
I don't know if you could hear this crunch, but that chicken, it is crunchy coated. I love it. The egg white, put the cornstarch in it. I don't know if that's what did it or if it's just my imagination, but it is good. It is so, so good. I love putting the cream cheese on here. That's new for me instead of mayonnaise. Oh, this is great. This is great. And you can put anything you want on here. Any kind of sauces. I've got the ranch dressing. You can put anything that you want on here. I think you could very easily do sliders with this, like on the Hawaiian buns. Just cut your chicken up in little bitty pieces. I like this. I like it a whole lot.
Oh boy, it looks good.
The red onion. So many flavors. This is really good. I'm going to be frying my chicken like this from now on too. Tonight, we are making Patrick Effler's most favorite little sandwiches. I'm making him the best ever ham and cheese sliders. I'm using Hawaiian rolls tonight. Everybody has seen these. We love them. They're so sweet. And honestly, The hardest part of this recipe is taking this package of rolls and a serrated knife and getting it cut in half. We're going to do the best that we can here. When I first started making these sliders, and of course it was Granny that showed me this recipe, we used to could find these little buns. I mean, like they were like one of these would have been two of them. And they came in a little metal tray. And it was so convenient because you could just put them right back in that little metal tray and cook them right, inside that. I'd always put it on like a baking sheet just to be safe rather than sorry. But I haven't seen those in a long time. They weren't Hawaiian, but they were very buttery and good. Let's see how I've done. Oh yeah, I did okay. I always have a few places where I get a little thin there. I'm going to take a little spatula to help me because my little buns are wanting to stick to the bottom of their packaging. And we're going to put it right inside of a baking dish. This is just like close to a 9x13 dish. Save your tops. We'll put them on in a second. This is one of those rare occasions where I did not spray the bottom of my casserole dish. There's no need to. We're going to be making a sauce. It's going to give it plenty of stuff around the bottom. And we're just going to take a little bit of mayonnaise to start with and spread all across the bottom of our buns. You just use your preference here. If you don't like a lot, you don't have to put a lot. But that looks about good to me. Now for our ham. I've just got some deli ham. This is about 3/4 of a pound, and this was maple ham. And I asked him to shave it. And this looks really good. Let me show it to you. This shave is very, very thin, and it's okay with me. Like, if it's just falling apart, I've had it shaved even thinner than this. And this is how my family likes this. Now, if you like big, like thicker pieces of ham, this is perfect. You can use that. And it's a great way to use up extra ham from like Easter and Christmas. You can do that. But I've been making this little sandwich deal here for a long time. And I think it is the texture. My kids were always funny about the texture of like lunch meat and stuff. I think a lot of kids are. They will eat it like this, but they don't want a big chunk of it. So that's why I started getting lunch meat like this. And honestly, I like it like this. You can cut through it to cut your individual sandwiches easier. And I myself prefer this texture here instead of the big chunks. But like I said, do whatever you want. And if you want to do turkey, you could do turkey. You could do half ham and turkey, whatever you like. And really, half a pound is plenty for this recipe. But I just had that little extra 1/4 of a pound there. I'm just going to use it all here. You can see this makes nice hearty sandwich. Now, let's talk about cheeses. Let's also talk about starting this oven. We're going to preheat it to 350 degrees. We want it to be getting hot for us. Today, I'm using Havarti cheese. Most of the time, I use Swiss cheese. I have used cheddar cheese on these before, but Havarti's a good cheese to use. If you like Swiss and you don't have it, this one's a good substitution. Looks like it's taken me about 5 slices. Now, let's talk about the tops of our buns. I'm just going to flip it over there. And because I'm me, I like to put a little bit of mayonnaise on this side of my bun as well. You don't have to do that, but I just like a little bit of a light layer here. Now, we'll just take them and flip them over right on the top. Now, taking one of my blue coffee cups. If you've been here before, you know blue coffee cups are for melting butter. White ones are for bacon grease. Around here, I'm taking a stick of butter. I'm just going to put it down in here and melt it in the microwave. Now that my butter is completely melted, I'm going to squirt in about a tablespoon of yellow mustard. If you wanted to use honey mustard here or Dijon, whatever you like, that's fine. Honey mustard would probably be really good with this. And then I'm going to put in about a teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce. And I'm just eyeballing here. Getting all this mixed up in my little cup here. And you know what's coming next. We're going to brush this butter, mustard, and Worcestershire sauce mixture all over the top of these buns. You really want to get them saturated. And I go all the way down the sides of mine. You want to get all of your bun nice and coated here. And you know this butter is going to be running down into the bottom of your dish, and it's going to soak all through these little sandwiches, and it just makes them so good. so good. Now here's where the fun begins. We're going to sprinkle the top of it with poppy seeds. I think this makes it so pretty, and I love the little flavor that the poppy seeds add. You don't have to do these if you don't like them. It's always, whatever you like, but I like them. And then I like to top it with these minced onions too. And I try to keep it to just like 1/2 of it because Patrick's not a big fan of these. We'll do a few more. Maddie likes them. But a lot of people will mix their onions and their poppy seeds into their butter, but I feel like it gets clumpy and you can distribute it better like this. Now, here is what makes these so great this is brown sugar. I'm just sprinkling it across the top. And I can't tell you how much to use. I think the original recipe was like 2 tablespoons. But, these are for Patrick. This is his meal right here. And y'all know he loves brown sugar. I made these for so long. He loves them. I mean, if we've been spatting or something and I'm trying to, like make up or whatever, all I have to do is pull out a tray of these sandwiches. It's like hitting a reset button on him. Everything is right with the world when he gets these sandwiches. So I go a little heavy on it just for him with the brown sugar. He loves them like this. Then I tint it with a big long piece of aluminum foil. I even spray the underside of it with nonstick spray because you don't want it to stick to that good brown sugar you just put on there. Just want to make a little tint over it. Then we're going to put them in that 350-degree oven covered for about 15 or 20 minutes. Then once our cheese is nice and melted and they're heated through, remove your foil, bake them another 10 minutes uncovered. You just want the tops to get nice and brown and your brown sugar to get just a little bit crystallized or something.
These are my favorite.
They are. They're the little ham and cheese ones with all the brown sugar on top. How many years you reckon I've been making them?
Long time.
They just get better every time, don't they?
Don't they?
It's the brown sugar for you, ain't it?
Yeah.
You love it.
I love that too.
What, the pasta salad? I think, yes, they would have already seen that creamy pasta salad in a video before the sandwiches. It's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's
Usually the pasta salad things aren't for me, but this is very good.
I'm glad you like that.
There's just something about these. I guess it's the butter and the cheese. And what kind of cheese is that?
That's Havarti. Normally I use Swiss. They're, about the same. I think the little concoction with the butter and the Worcestershire sauce.
And the brown sugar.
Yeah, and the brown sugar. That's your deal, ain't it?
Yeah.
I told him anytime I want to get on your good side, I'll just whip out a tray of those sliders.
They are very good.
You can't beat them, can you? They're delicious. I'm sharing some really great sandwiches here today. And honestly, we eat a lot of sandwiches here nowadays. Mainly, it's me and Patrick that I'm cooking for. And let me tell you, shopping for 2 people it's a whole nother ballgame, friends. It's tough. It's easy to overbuy, or worse yet, we'll just end up saying, forget it and just grabbing something quick. Sometimes it's like going to the store for 2 people just feels like more trouble than it's even worth. And that's not a very good habit that I want to start getting into. That's where Hungry Root has really come in handy for me. They make eating healthier so easy. They're like your own personal grocery shopper. You just tell them your goals and your taste buds, any special diet needs you might have, like gluten-free or high protein, and they pick out groceries and meal ideas that actually fit what you want to eat. And the more you shop, the better their smart cart gets at picking things that you'll love. No big shocker here. My main pain points are always finding some better alternative for some healthier snacks, some quick and easy weeknight meal ideas to throw together, and something for breakfast. Always looking for quick breakfast. And if you have never had this cucumber, corn, and black bean salad from Hungry Root, this is absolutely delicious. This is one of my favorite little sides. I order this every time I get Hungry Root. I also got some pre-cooked proteins this week, salad kits, and stuff like this that I can do some quick meals. And I always like to try something new in every order. You always have your basics that I get, like snack cheeses and meat sticks and stuff like that. But this is something new that I'm super excited to try. It's little crackers with sunflower butter and some jams. It looks really good. And these little guys right here, I tried these for the first time. These little guys look like something that I love a whole lot. You may be familiar with something that looks like this. It's a little fruit chew, and these are absolutely delicious. And if I can make a little bit of a better choice in some sweet treats, I'm going to do it. And Hungry Root has something for everybody, from smoothies to snacks, ready-to-eat meals, salad kits, and more. And every single item is high quality. No weird ingredients, no antibiotics or hormones in the meat and seafood, no artificial junk, just real wholesome food. And don't worry, you're never locked into taking what they pick for you. You can completely customize your order, adding, removing, whatever you'd like. And you can always reschedule, skip a shipment, or cancel anytime you need to. I almost forgot to show you guys these things. I already had them in the freezer. This is probably my favorite thing that I order from Hungry Root, especially in the summer. These little popsicle type things only have 25 calories and they don't have any added sugars in them. Take advantage of this exclusive offer. For a limited time, get 40% off of your first box, plus get a free item in every box for life. Click the link below or go to hungryroot.com and use code MOMMAMAIL. That's 40% off your first box and a free item of your choice for life at hungryroot.com and use code MOMMAMAIL. And thanks Hungry Root for being a great sponsor and making grocery shopping just a little bit easier. Today we're going to make some California club wraps. This is a recipe I found quite a while ago on the back of some Aldi flour tortillas, the low-carb ones. And the first thing I'm going to do is make like a little spread that we're going to use inside of our wraps. I'm just going to be making about 2 of them. So I'm going to start with about half of an avocado, and then I'll just need a little bit of lime juice. Always roll your citrus fruit before you juice it. Kind of breaks up the stuff inside of there. You get a little bit more juice out of them. I'm going to go ahead and begin to smash up this avocado just a little bit. I'm just going to throw in 1 little spoonful of mayonnaise and squeeze in just a little bit of lime juice. And that's probably maybe a tablespoon of mayonnaise. Now let's get this mashed up, mixed together. And it doesn't have to be completely smooth. I like mine actually a little bit more on the chunky side. I've got a few toppings that I'm going to go ahead and get sliced up because when my chicken and stuff's ready, I just want to be ready to eat. First thing I've got is a mango. This one doesn't have any red on it at all. It feels ripe, and when they begin to turn yellow, I've heard that's when they're ripe. So We'll see. If you've never cut your own mango, they're kind of tricky. I mean, we don't have mangoes here in East Tennessee. They're not native to us. But you have kind of two wider sides, and these are the cheeks, and you have these narrow sides. And running down, there's like a big hard pit in there. So I've always been told you cut down the cheeks, and if you run into that pit, I didn't even go close enough. I can get a little bit more. You've come in too close, and you could just start again. You can begin to see it. So let me go down the other side now. Yeah, this one's nice and juicy. You can begin to see that. It's really hard. It doesn't taste good. But then you can go down the short side. Oh yeah, I feel it then. And cut that. And cut that. Then you can come back and trim any of the other up. And this is very much little pieces here that I'm just going to cut around. This will be my snack while I'm doing this. Now, I just want mine in slices. So I'm kind of going to do like my avocado, and I'm going to go down through here, trying to get deep, but not to go through the skin all the way. And these things are slicker than anything. Now, if you want to dice it or chunk it, you can go the other way too. But you're just going to kind of flip it out like we do the avocado. And you can kind of just peel it right out of here. Looky here, how perfect and pretty. I almost hate to cut this little guy. Makes me think of, Bob the Tomato from VeggieTales. It's like, I feel like I'm doing away with an old friend. I'm just going to cut me a few slices right here of this. Here in East Tennessee, our Granger County tomatoes haven't come in yet. This one said it was in Kentucky, grown in Kentucky. And I like mine like paper thin. Now I'm doing something that seems very silly, but I had a few pieces of this microwave bacon left. It's fully cooked. And you know, you can just fry this stuff up in the skillet. I'm going to be having to do something else in a skillet, so I'm just going to let mine get crisp up here. You can actually get it a little bit more crispier and done to your liking this way too. I'm just going to move it over to a paper towel lined plate. Into the same skillet with my bacon grease, I've added about a tablespoon of avocado oil, and I've added some fully cooked grilled frozen chicken breast strips. I use these in a lot of skillet meals, wraps on top of salads. These are a great shortcut to keep in the freezer. These are just grilled chicken breasts. They've got a little bit of smoke flavor added. I've got them in an herb seasoning. They even have them in fajita style, but I love to use these. And you heard me say these are fully cooked. They're frozen. So you just pop them in this skillet, put the lid on them, and it takes about 5 or 6 minutes for them to get heated all the way through. They're kind of stuck together, but as they cook, they'll come apart, and then we can slice them or dice them or leave them this way. You can just chunk them up however you need to for whatever you're using them for. And this is just the grilled flavor with the little bit of smoke. So I'm just going to put a little bit of the salt, pepper, and garlic tires. And as it cooks, if you want to, you can add a little bit of additional water down in here. It just keeps it nice and moist while it's reheating. When it's nice and done, I'm just going to set it off the stove eye and let it cool just a second, and we'll build our wraps. I don't have the carb tortillas today, but I'm using these whole wheat flour ones, and I really like these, but sometimes they can be hard to work with. So I always stick them in the microwave just a minute. Well, not really a minute, just about 20 or 30 seconds to get them warm. And I'm going to take my little avocado mayonnaise that I fixed up here, spread it out, leave you a little bit of edge around here to work with. I'm going to lay down just a little bit of lettuce, a little bit of that tomato, piece of bacon, Going to put one of my chicken tender strips there, my grilled strips, and a little bit of that sweet mango. I wish these were just a little bit bigger because you really have a hard time fitting stuff in. But I'm going to do my best to roll it up, and let's cut into it. Look at all the goodness in there. Okay, let me taste it. This is so quick, so easy, fresh, flavorful. You have sweet, you have savory, a little bit of tangy. This is busting with flavor. You're going to love it. And Maddie had the awesome suggestion of doing some chili powder flavor in this. Would that not be delicious with the mango? Guys, get creative. Choose different flavors, different add-ins, whatever you like. This is perfect for summer snacking. Tonight, we're making sandwiches. But hey, I love sandwiches. It's a treat for me. But I like a good sandwich. You know what I'm saying? A good sandwich starts with, not subpar bread. You always want to pull out the good stuff. And this is like a meal. These sourdough breads, just like you could eat half of this, but we're going to eat it all tonight. For reference, I'm using this Pepperidge Farm sourdough. And the first thing that I'm going to do is spread me some good old Duke's mayonnaise on here. We're not measuring tonight. We're not measuring. We're just building. The next thing I'm using is a good old Dijon mustard. Now, honey mustard is also good on a sandwich. I didn't tell you what I'm making. I'm making, I would say a cheddar turkey melt, except I'm not using cheddar tonight. I was out of white cheddar, so I'm going to be using some Havarti cheese on mine. But yeah, I love a honey mustard also with turkey and cheddar sandwiches. And I'm just going to get that spread out here with the mayonnaise. I think I told you guys I'm using some Havarti cheese tonight. I love white cheddar or even a smoked yellow cheddar with turkey, but I'm using this and I just have one piece left. You know what I'm going to do? Some of our edge isn't covered, so I'm just going to take this last piece. Yeah, we're going all in. It's going to be like 9 o'clock when I'm eating supper tonight. It's been a day, friends. I meant to tell you too, pepper jack cheese, I've got this laid out for Patrick. This is what he's going to want, I'm sure of it. Now let's layer some turkey on here. And this is just some turkey that I got out of the deli at Walmart. This is the Sara Lee honey turkey. And I mentioned I like the honey mustard and I like sweet meats. And I cannot lie. I just really, really like them. And I'm just going to put about yay much on mine. Maybe, 4 or 5 slices? It'll be fine. I also cannot lie about my recent obsession with the microwave bacon. I keep finding it like on sale everywhere. And when it starts getting warm weather, y'all know I bake my bacon in the oven. That's how I cook it. And I don't even turn my oven on. This is really great. I'm just going to do 2 slices. Now I want you to look at this sweet little thing I had left. I had half of an avocado. I've heard if you leave this pit in it, that it will have this little bitty knife. I'm like, not much of a force to be reckoned with here tonight. I don't know how I'm going to get that out. Maybe it'll just push out. There it comes. But I've heard anyway, bunny trail, if you leave this pit in here, that it keeps your avocado from turning brown as much. So this is 1 day's brownness here. Okay, that ain't working. I forgot about this little guy. I had this other knife out. I wasn't planning on doing nothing with him tonight. Okay, I'm just making a big mess out of him. My Lord, apparently if you leave your pit in there, it fuses to it. Never, ever to come out. There it goes. Oh my gosh. Stinker. Okay, back at it. As I was saying, I kind of forgot I had this guy here. And I'm going to put this on my sandwich. Just run my thumb right under there and make a big old mess, why don't we? Get that out. So yeah, we'll take us a little bit and put on each side of our sandwich. Give me another little slice there. Just thin little pieces. And the only tomato that I have left is this Roma tomato. It's a good sized tomato, but it feels kind of soft. But I think I can get me maybe a slice or two out of it here. And I don't like a lot of tomato on a sandwich. I like them more like chopped up in things. But I'm getting to where I like a little bit. But I'm just going to kind of do it like this. Kind of like that. Now for the best part, let's put this little top on it. Oh my gosh, look at that. Yeah, what am I going to do here? I'm not going to be able to eat all this. I swear there's nothing that's any more fun than to build a giant sandwich. And I'm going to take some softened butter and I'm going to rub it all along the outside of this. I've got my skillet over here heating on about a medium heat. So let's get one side buttered. If you have a panini press, this is the time to be breaking it out, friends. I'm using this. If you've never seen something like this in your store, this is Kroger brand, but there's all kind of store brands and other brands of this. It's actual butter. It's got some olive oil in it, and they make it spreadable, so you don't have to eat margarine. I mean, I like margarine too, but it ain't as good for us. It's kind of almost plastic. So this is just real butter, but it's spreadable. Get you a tub of this. Now that my skillet has heated up a little bit, I'm going to take this humongous sandwich, butter side down, and put it in the skillet. Takes up the whole thing, but this is a small skillet. This is my grilled cheese skillet. I love it because it just fits a sandwich, like, you know, one sandwich. And this stove eye is my favorite, and you have 3 ranges of cooking, and this one fits in my middle range perfectly. Now, while that heat's working on the other side, I'm just going to take some butter and rub on this side. And we've had this conversation here before, but I'm always interested whenever I do like a grilled cheese. I want to hear from you. Have you ever grilled a cheese or any sandwich, instead of butter on the outside, you've used mayonnaise? One of Callie's friends, Julie, I love her. She met her in college. They were roommates. And Julie was so confused when Callie made a grilled cheese and she put the mayonnaise inside of her sandwich and the butter on the outside. And Julie was like, we put mayonnaise on the outside. I had to try it, and it does make them pretty and brown and crisp. But let me know if you've ever done that. My cheese on bottom's beginning to look a little melty. So let's take a big old spatula under here. Let's flip this baby over. Oh, that is pretty, pretty, pretty golden. Now we're just gonna set it over here to rest just for a minute. I like to open mine up after it's done and put a little lettuce on there. I like my lettuce to stay nice and crispy, so I save that for the end. And if you don't have kettle chips and a big dill pickle spear, do you really even have a sandwich? Guys, y'all just have to take my word for this one. It is a favorite of mine, and it is super delicious. But there's absolutely no way I could try this on camera for you. I'm doing like Miss Alma and Tracy always say, I'm gonna have to go over here and put on my bib and chow down on this one. You're gonna love it. Remember, the link for Hungry Root is down below to get 40% off your first box and a free item in every box for life. And if you enjoyed this video, I know you're gonna love this playlist. It has a slider sandwich for every occasion. Thank you so much for choosing to spend some of your time here with me today, friends. I never take that choice or your time for granted. I'll see you next time, and until then, I send you love from my kitchen.